Listeners, we're diving into some really compelling claims that popped up back in 2016. It felt like a year full of, well, revelations and some genuinely strange happenings.
Oh, definitely. Things that, if these sources are on the mark, really make you question what's real and maybe what's been kept under wraps.
Exactly. It was a time when, public interest seemed to spike. These topics started moving more into the mainstream, wouldn't you say? Less fringe.
Absolutely. You saw more people willing to actually engage with these ideas
Oh, sure.
critically rather than just dismissing them outright.
Right. And today, our deep dive is taking us through a whole stack of pretty fascinating source material. We're talking alleged alien activity, government cover-ups, that kind of thing, plus a load of other unexplained stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of this comes from a big review by a secure team, that online channel that pulls together UFO reports and things people send in.
That's the one. Plus, we've got eyewitness accounts and, crucially, what are claimed to be official documents.
So our mission here is basically to pull out the most significant bits, the insights, the so-called evidence presented in these sources.
We want to give you a clear but also, thought-provoking look at it all. Help you understand why these particular stories got so much traction.
Yeah, what made them stick?
Exactly. So whether you're already deep into this stuff, or maybe you're just curious and want the quick rundown on these weird claims, stick with us.
We'll guide you through not just what they claimed happened, but why it resonated and maybe what it all suggests.
Okay, let's jump in. Right, first up, let's unpack one of the, frankly, most astonishing claims from the sources,
Yeah.
what NASA was apparently up to in 2016, especially given, their public line on ET life.
Ah, yes, this one's fascinating because of the alleged contradiction.
Yeah.
The source points to this revelation about NASA,
Yeah.
an organization that publicly says, nope, no evidence of ET life found.
And according to the claim, actively refuses to look at counter evidence.
Right. But then this same material suggests NASA was involved in a very peculiar internal study.
Peculiar is one word for it. The source alleges NASA spent over $1 million funding a study. And get this.
Hmm.
Its specific focus was, and I quote, how the revelation of aliens would impact the world's religions.
$1 million for that specific question. Wow.
Yeah, and the money, reportedly, went straight to leaders of some of these religious groups for this internal study.
So the source sees this as basically clear-cut proof that NASA knows exactly what lies in and beyond our skies. They're implying a real agenda here.
They argue, why spend that kind of cash unless you have a very good reason to hold this study?
Yeah.
Suggests they're planning for something, not just wondering.
Well, historically, big scientific shifts, think Copernicus, Darwin, they always stir things up theologically, societally.
Sure.
So if this study actually happened, it would suggest NASA or someone was thinking way ahead, trying
Yeah.
to sort of pre-manage the fallout from a potentially massive revelation.
And the source connects this to that long-standing idea, right? That one big reason for secrecy around the whole alien phenomenon is the fear of what it would do to world religions.
Exactly. The risk that it could lead to their breakdown, as the source puts it.
So this study gets framed as what? The first step engaging the public's reaction to the inevitable disclosure.
That's the interpretation, yes. That it's about preparing for something they believe is coming, something many people, the source claims, already know is true.
It really makes you think, though. If a study like that did happen, what does it signal about how powerful they think this information is?
Precisely. What does it tell us about how society might react? And what factors are these agencies weighing up? It's not just science then, is it? It's belief systems, stability, human psychology.
It really moves the whole conversation beyond just are they out there to what happens when we know for sure. It touches the core of who we think we are.
Yeah, our collective identity, our place in the cosmos.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff.
Okay, so moving on from that, maybe more speculative, high-level stuff, the sources then pivot to what they present as like direct encounters.
Right. This is where it gets, let's say, more grounded in alleged events, military interactions.
Yeah, this is compelling. We're talking documents, apparently.
And indeed. Connecting this to the bigger picture, these details offer a different flavor of proof, if you will. The source talks about secret documents, supposedly now public,
Okay.
that reportedly show the U.S. and Canadian Air Forces intercept at least 75 UFOs every single year.
Wait, 75 intercepts a year? Between the U.S. and Canada?
That's the claim. And these documents were apparently obtained through a Canadian Access to Information Act request, their version of a Freedom of Information request.
Gotcha. So a legal way to get government files. And who brought these to light?
A veteran UFO investigator named Victor Vigani. according to the source.
Okay, Vigani. And the data itself came from?
From NORAD, North American Aerospace Defense Command. The claim is, over the last 5 years, covered by the documents, NORAD handled, on average, about 1,800 tracks of interest annually.
Tracks of interest. Okay, so things they're watching.
Right. And out of those, they averaged 75 intercepts of UFOs.
So what does intercept mean here? Just seeing them?
No, the source is specific.
Right.
It means fighter pilots actually managed to get close enough to the UFOs to not only establish visual contact, but to also get a target lock on the objects.
Whoa. Target lock? That means that their weapon systems could track them.
That's the implication, yes. Now, apparently, a lot of the info in these documents was blacked out, redacted.
Standard procedure for sensitive stuff, I guess?
Exactly. It's frustrating, but common for national security reasons. Doesn't automatically confirm anything wild, but it definitely suggests there's something they don't want out there.
But even with the redactions, did anything specific leak through?
Yes. One instance reportedly mentioned 2 Canadian CF-18 fighter jets were scrambled to pursue 3 unidentified flying objects.
Scrambled. So an urgent response.
Apparently. They were caught speeding at an altitude of 35,000 feet, and the jets gained contact and engaged them.
Engaged them. That sounds active, not just passive observation.
It certainly implies more than just a flyby. And then there's another claim, even more physical.
Oh.
Another document cited is said to reveal the recovery of a metal fragment, and this fragment was reportedly part of a vehicle that traveled in outer space.
Okay, hold on. Recovery of actual material. That's huge, if true. That moves way beyond sightings.
It's a significant jump, absolutely. From seeing something to tracking it to potentially having a piece of it. That's the alleged evidence chain.
Now, the source also mentions this investigator, Vigani, claims he's been threatened since releasing this.
Yeah, the source says he has been threatened by both the U.S. and Canadian government, but it adds, kind of defiantly, that the information is already out.
So the takeaway here, according to the source, isn't just whispers and rumors. It's supposed to be concrete evidence straight from the military itself.
Well, it certainly pushes us to think differently about official records, doesn't it? Even redacted ones. If these intercepts are happening that often and involve actual engagement.
What does that really mean about what's flying around up there and how often?
Exactly. It shifts things. It's not just speculation anymore if you accept these documents. It's acknowledging unexplained presences that require military attention.
Right. Okay, so we've had the alleged NASA study that claimed military intercepts, but the sources also include more personal stories, right? Eyewitness stuff.
Yes. And this is where we get down to the human level, the raw experience of witnessing something extraordinary.
Tell me about it.
There's one account that's particularly vivid, focusing on a child's reaction. It's described as unfiltered, deeply emotional.
A kid saw something.
Multiple sightings,
Oh,
apparently, in the same area. The source describes the child talking about objects that seem to shimmer or change shape, maybe break up, and then just vanish.
Wow. How did the kid react?
Pure shock, initially. Then this profound, almost fearful belief, saying things like aliens were coming down. The reaction apparently went from just amazement to real fear.
Intense.
Yeah, the source mentions exclamations about being watched, feeling deeply disturbed. It really underscores the personal impact these alleged events can have, how they shake someone's reality.
It's a good reminder, isn't it? While we're looking at documents and data, there are these incredibly direct personal moments that shape people's beliefs.
Absolutely. But the sources don't just stay on Earth, they also take a leap outwards.
To the moon. I saw something about that.
Yes, exactly. This brings in another intriguing claim, focusing on satellite imagery. It was originally posted, the source says, by a YouTube channel, Marcelo Irusta.
And what does this imagery supposedly show?
Get this. Massive 3 pillars on the moon. Then it's revised to actually 5 altogether. Plus other very mysterious things.
Pillars, like structures, on the moon.
That's the assertion. The source is pretty bold about it, stating that if you look at this imagery and still don't think the moon has massive artificial structures, then you'll probably never be convinced.
Strong claim. Makes you wonder about interpreting images, doesn't it? And what our own biases are when we look at something familiar like the moon.
It definitely raises questions about perception and our readiness to accept anomalies. And there were a few other odd sightings mentioned briefly, too, rounding out this 2016 picture.
Like what?
There was an email from someone driving, saw a strange object hovering, moving, and rotating near their car, just out there in the distance.
Ah, okay.
And then something really weird. A massive whirlpool spotted in the Atlantic, like 500 miles off the coast of South Africa, described as being as large as a snake.
A whirlpool, like a giant snake? That's bizarre. Natural phenomenon, or?
Unexplained, according to the source material. And finally, something a bit different, more astronomical.
Yeah.
A new image of Jupiter and its moons, taken by someone in the UK, Lewis Reed. He used a Canon camera with a telescopic lens.
So, just a cool space picture.
Pretty much. It's more about amateur astronomy, but
Oh.
it kind of fits the theme, right? People looking up, observing, capturing the unknown or the distant, whether it's weird lights or planets.
True. It all feeds into that sense of mystery.
And these different reports together just highlight the sheer range of weird stuff people were reporting or claiming to see.
So let's try and wrap our heads around all this. We've got NASA maybe prepping for disclosure's impact on religion. Military jets apparently intercepting UFOs frequently, even getting target locks.
Right.
A kid having this incredibly intense reaction to a sighting.
Yeah.
And then claims of huge structures on the moon. It's a lot. A very diverse, sometimes baffling picture from 2016.
It really is. And the common thread, I think, is this ongoing conversation about what we actually know, what we think we know, and what might still be hidden, maybe even in plain sight.
It goes beyond just our aliens real, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's about how information gets controlled, how evidence or alleged evidence is gathered and presented, and importantly, how we, as individuals, figure out what to make of these incredible claims. Claims that really push against established views.
Yeah, how do you weigh official documents versus personal stories versus a blurry photo?
Exactly. It forces us to think about the different lenses we use to see reality.
So this deep dive hopefully highlights why it's so important for you, the listener, to kind of build your own framework for looking at these things.
Yeah, critical thinking is key.
Understanding the narratives, whether you end up believing them or not, helps you navigate this world full of, frankly, incredible stories, helps you sort information and decide for yourself.
Which leads us nicely to a final thought, something for you to chew on.
Go for it.
Considering that assertion from the source, the one about inevitable disclosure, if something like that really happened, what would it actually mean?
Means for everything. History, technology.
Our whole understanding of human history, yeah. Our tech level, our place in the universe. How might a genuine revelation challenge your perspective? Or maybe confirm something you already suspected. It's something profound to consider, especially as information from official channels and, well, less official ones, keeps on flowing. How do we prepare ourselves for possibilities that might once have seemed pure science fiction?
Definitely food for thought. A lot to unpack from just 1 year's worth of claims.